Okay, so good afternoon. I will be talking about big changes that are going to happen in Acadia National Park, and these changes are going to happen because of small creatures, such as small mammals, so squirrels, mice, and voles. So we've all had to make very tough decisions in our life. Some of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make was when I was a kid. Every Tuesday, my mother would take me to a pasticceria, a patisserie in Rome, Italy, where I grew up. And I was faced with hundreds of different cakes, and I had to make two decisions. First of all, I had to decide which cake to pick up, to eat. And the second decision was what to do with the cake. I could either hide it and eat it later, or I could eat it immediately. This put huge amount of pressure on me because I was always surrounded by a voracious predator, my sister, who was specialized in stealing cakes from me. This picture, it looks like she's feeding me. She is not feeding me. She is stealing food from me. Anyway, I learned that later in life, I learned that small mammals have to make exactly the same kind of decisions, not once a week, but many, many times each day. So essentially, a forest is a bit like a patisserie for small mammals. They go around and there's hundreds of different types of seeds. And again, they have to make two decisions. First of all, which seed to pick up, which is the best seed to guarantee, improve their survival. And the second decision is, should they eat it immediately, or should they cache it, store it, so they can eat it later, for example, during the winter? So if they decide to eat the seed immediately, we have seed consumption. So essentially, they've killed a potential tree. But if they decide to cache it, so eat it later, what happens is often they forget where they hid the seed. They're smart, but not that smart. Or otherwise, sometimes they just die. And so what happens is the seed has been hidden, taken away from the mother tree, and actually it has a chance of germinating. So in this case, they've actually dispersed a seed. So they've actually done a favor to the plant, to the tree. So why do squirrel or mice decision matters? Well, let's put it like this. Like, how did these trees get to where they got to? How did trees manage to colonize the whole world? Well, some trees, of course, have their own means. But in most cases, trees have to rely on animals, such as birds and mammals, to disperse their seeds. So in general, we can say that trees disperse by using the big and the small forces of nature. The big forces of nature are things such as gravity and wind, and the small forces of nature are things such as small mammals, who, as I said, predate but also disperse the seeds. And I want to specify, we're talking about inadvertent dispersal. So the seeds of the small mammals, of course, are not purposefully dispersing the trees, but by chance this happens very often. So if you're not convinced about it, I'll give you some more evidence from scientists about the potential role of small mammals. So we know that small mammals can act as a cleanup crew. If they target a seed, they're able to find and consume up to 80%, 100% of the seeds in their territory. So they can really act as birth control. So if they decide to target a specific tree, they can really prevent the regeneration of that tree. Yes, they have a small size, but they also have a big appetite. A small mammal can consume or harvest up to 5,000 seeds in a season. And also they can live at very high density. Sometimes, for example, actually right now in Maine, we have one of the peaks in the small mammal abundance, and they can live you can have density of up to 100 individuals per acre. So this relationship between mammals and seed has been going on for millions of years, but now everything is going to change. It's going to change because of climate change. So to track the increasing temperatures, the range of plants is going to shift northwards. And this is particularly relevant to Maine, where we have 120 woody plant species with their range limits just below Acadia National Park. But we know that many of these plants are expanding. So they're tracking the increasing temperature, and so they're going to come into Acadia in the near future. Some of these plants include like the black oat and the sweet birch, which are some of the plants we've used in the experiment I will talk about soon. So how will this novel seed-small mammal interaction unfold? Basically, small mammals living in Acadia are soon going to experience a new wave of seeds that they have never encountered before. So we have absolutely no idea on how this interaction is going to unfold. What we know is there's going to be winners and losers. So there's going to be plants that are going to be favored by small mammals and plants that are going to be sort of blocked by small mammals. And all of this is going to be determined, as I said, by small mammals. So we can say essentially that small mammals are going to be the gatekeepers of Acadia National Park. So what I did in my project, I essentially exposed the small mammals of Acadia National Park with seeds that they have never encountered before, but these are seeds that are predicted to come into Acadia into the near future. Practically speaking, what I did, I offered free food to small mammals into Acadia National Park. I had a suite of novel seeds, so seeds they've never encountered before, which were coupled with seeds they know because they come from trees that are currently within Acadia National Park. And what we did, we offered these seeds. Sorry if I can show the video. This is one of our devices. There's different plates with different types of seed. That is a squirrel. He's going around observing, making his thoughts, okay, decision. He's gone and he got some black oak acorns. Another thing we did is we put some little tags in the acres and the seeds so we could track them and see where these small mammals are caching their seeds. And you can see an example of a seed there which was retrieved inside a tree. So very quickly I'll go through some of the main results. What we found is, yes, small mammals, even though they have never encountered these seeds before, they show very strong selection patterns. So you can't see, but there's the seeds more on the right in a kind of gray area. Those are seeds they are familiar with. And on the y-axis is the probability of selection. So as you can see, some seeds, they are highly selected, some acorns, so they really love them. They sometimes love them even more than the seeds that they are familiar with, whereas some other seeds they absolutely hate. They don't even consider eating them. Last results we found is they don't make these choices by random. In general, they tend to prefer larger seeds, so they go for seeds that are bigger and for seeds which have a thicker, harder shell. So in general, for our study, we could conclude that the seeds that are going to be favored or blocked by small mammals in the future are most likely the larger seeds and the seeds with the thicker shell. Thank you very much for your attention, and thanks to the Second Citrus program for funding the study.